Hello, my name's Keith Osmond-Smith. I'm the coordinator for Telford Street Pastors. This film is unashamedly about recruiting more street pastors for the Telford Street Pastor group from Telford's more than 70 churches. Currently I have about 20 street pastors. I'd like up to 60. That would still be less than one per church to get involved in this very valuable and critical work in the nighttime economy of our town. Now, just about 4 years or more ago, a small group of very diverse individuals from a number of churches in Telford got together and completed the essential training for street pastors. Since then, we've changed the way we do things. Then we were only out on Friday nights when Telford Town Centre was described as the Wild West. It's no longer like that. The street pastors have a very significant effect. We're glad of the support of the local community, of the Borough Council and the police. And it's something you too could be involved in, as you'll see. We have come a long way over the last few years. We now have more street pastors, which allows us to patrol on Friday and Saturday nights in Telford Town Centre, Wellington and occasionally Newport, Oakengates, Dawley and Madeley and Ironbridge. But we need many more street pastors to meet the demands of the nighttime economy. Street pastors don't go out on the streets at night to preach. They're not Bible bashers and they're not interested in bums on seats on Sunday morning. They're there to listen, help and care and do what they can to keep people safe. When someone asks why street pastors do it, then of course we tell them it's what Jesus did, went out in the streets of the towns and cities, saw the people in their distress and had compassion on them. Telford street pastors visit the ice rink and the bowling alley, stop and chat to everyone they can in the streets of Telford. We know that street pastors bring reassurance and a comforting presence to many, many people. They share so much of their lives with us, and we have the blessing of knowing that what we do is making a difference.
It's really good that you people are out here making sure that happens and we do get home.
I appreciate anything else more than these because
You're amazing, I love you! You do such a good job!
Actually amazing, making sure that drunk girls get home okay.
And lads, and it's not just girls, drunk, not just girls! It's not just girls! It's not just girls!
Many of the youngsters we see every week at the ice rink and McDonald's we've seen grow from adolescence into early adulthood. We know them by name and they know us too, and they trust the street pastors. We meet many parents who say they would not let their children come to town if the street pastors were not there. We took delivery of our personnel carrier, the Street Pastor van, in July 2014. It was donated to us by the Police and Crimes Commissioner for West Mercia. It's been a godsend. It's now a fully equipped mobile base with all our kit, including the defibrillator provided by West Midlands Ambulance Service and water safety rescue equipment provided by the Shropshire Fire and Rescue Service.
Hi, my name's Barry Sheldon. I'm the Deputy Police and Crime Commissioner for West Mercia Police. I've been doing this job for over 2 years now, and during that time I spent a lot of time with street pastors right across the 3 counties of West Mercia. I'm a big supporter of what they do, and I sometimes feel that people don't realise the actual contribution they make to our communities in respect of keeping people safe. They provide a significant contribution to managing the nighttime economy. They're out during the late hours in the evening, early hours of the morning, looking after people, dealing with conflict situations very effectively, quite often far more effectively than the police. They're the watchful eye within our communities. I'm really impressed with a lot of the safeguarding work that goes unnoticed. Young ladies going home from the nightclub, a little bit drunk, and the offer of, can we escort you to a taxi or can we see you home, to make sure they do get home safely. And personally, I have spent a number of hours myself on the street. I've been to Telford, I've been to Worcester, Evesham, Hereford, and spent many a good hour with the street pastors to actually witness firsthand the excellent job that they are doing.
The street pastors know and enjoy friendly relationships with all the SIA approved door staff at the various venues around Telford, and we respect each other's roles. We know that they're watching our backs when we're dealing with someone who's unconscious or ill, and we're grateful for that. We also keep an eye on them, if you know what I mean. The police in Telford strongly support the work that the street pastors do, not least because they free up valuable police resources by dealing with the minor incidents which would previously have required a police presence and the risk of confrontation. On cold nights they also appreciate the hot drinks machine which we had fitted in the van and paid for by a grant from Wellington Town Council.
Hello, I'm Inspector Gary Wade and I cover Telford West Safer Neighbourhood team, looking after nighttime economy in and around Wellington and surrounding areas. Clearly Wellington is one of the busiest nighttime economies in Telford, if not the busiest nighttime economy. And without the street pastors, I feel that we'd have one of our arms chopped off in carrying out the role. I recently came back to the area, having 25 years in the police. I started in Wellington 25 years ago, came back as inspector in the last 12 months. So I'm able to say the difference street pastors make to how it was 25 years ago or even 10 years ago to how it is today. And quite honestly, the street pastors is one of the finest innovations within policing that I've seen within 25 years. Without the people who I'm completely in awe of the work they do, we would struggle on a weekly basis to keep a lid on what sometimes can be quite a fraught evening and nighttime economy. So I can't speak highly enough of the way street pastors are able to disarm sometimes very, very aggressive, drunken, threatening people just by a lollipop or just a few kind words. So please, if you can, spend a little bit of time and provide that effort to assist us. I personally cannot thank people enough for the way they reduce crime, reduce antisocial behaviour and provide any intelligence to help us target criminality and violence within this area. So once again, I implore you, give a little bit of time. You are appreciated if you do that. Thank you.
The Borough Council have backed us right from our very first meeting with them at the tail end of 2010 and even presented us with the Good Citizens Award in 2012 at a full council meeting. Councillors support us and we work very closely with council officers as they too deal with issues in the nighttime economy of the borough.
I've spent tonight with the Telford Street Pastors and I have to say I'm hugely impressed by the work done by a dedicated team of Telford Street Pastors. I think it's a great help and support not only to the public but of course a helping hand to the local policing teams. I was also hugely impressed by the teamwork done by the Street Pastors. I think it's amazing.
I'm Lucy Allen and I'm with the Street Pastors tonight. I'm a big fan of the Street Pastors because they do some amazing work right across Telford, particularly supporting people and creating a really loving atmosphere on the street, which sometimes stops something escalating into something that might be more problematic, and they can diffuse all sorts of situations. And when I've been out, I've found it a really loving response from the people on the street, by the fact that they know the name of the Street Pastors and they know what they're there to do, which is to help and support the community.
I was one of the first group of street pastors that started nearly 4 years ago, and I guess one of my motivations then was that my daughter, who was at the time about 22 years old, was going out clubbing a lot down in Bristol, and I just really felt that if she ever got into difficulty that I wanted someone to be there for her, and I thought, well, I can't do anything for her in Bristol, but I can be here for people in Telford. There is a real sense of reward when you help someone and you know that they've got home safely.
Why am I a street pastor? It's a question that we get asked most nights we go out. And the reason's very simple. We try to show our love to people as the Lord shows us his love.
I'm part of the prayer pastor team. We seek to support street pastors when they're out on duty. we find that it's important that we do pray into situations that our street pastors find. We want to provide a covering that God can provide the safety for our people when they're out on the streets, and so we seek to do that.
We've given away thousands and thousands of lollipops over the last few years. Children of all ages love them, but they also provided a much needed burst of sugar when energy is flagging. It's also difficult to fall out with someone who's offering you a simple gift like a lollipop. All our street pastors are first aiders, but we also carry all sorts of other equipment like space blankets and vomit bags. The latter are used to persuade reticent taxi drivers that a drunk person will not be sick all over the inside of their vehicle. Street pastors need to be alert to all possibilities. It would be a great pity if we missed someone lying injured or drunk in a dark alley or entry. We often refer to killer heel trauma, where at the end of a night's dancing and standing, the last thing the young women want to do is to wear their high-heeled shoes. We've given away hundreds of pairs of street pastor flip-flops, and some girls now even come to book a pair earlier in the evening. The plus side is that the number of foot injuries being dealt with at the Princess Royal Hospital is now virtually nil out of the nighttime economy. So there you are, a fairly comprehensive look at the work of Telford Street Pastors. Back in 2011, when we began with just a small but diverse group of people from just a few of Telford's churches, then the town centre of Telford on a Friday night was like the Wild West. It's not like that anymore. You'll see we've changed our practices on Saturday nights. We spend all night now in Wellington. But if you're interested in doing what we do, and if you feel this is something that you could do, then why don't you get in touch with us? Telford 291 904, or have a look at us on Facebook, Telford Street Pastors, or Twitter, or just Google Telford Street Pastors and you'll come up with us. And do get in touch and help us to be those that fill the gap in the nighttime economy in this critical and important role. Thank you.